All right, Mike Maloney breaks down the three phases of a bull market. Now, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show. If you're new, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel to help get this economic evangelism out there. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to read a quote from this talk that Mike Maloney gave, and I'll make some comments afterwards with some data as well. So he says the first phase of any bull market is sort of a stealth phase where there's a quiet accumulation. Then the second phase is usually the longest duration and the greatest growth. And the final and third phase is a blow off top where the market just goes vertical. You remember the Nasdaq in the last 3 months of 1999 just went vertical. The public rushed into it and they all got slaughtered. The herd always comes rushing in at the end and they always get slaughtered. And that's the time when you want to sell. Now, I'm not sitting here saying, try to time, the very height or try to time a bottom or anything like that. For me, as long as we understand these three phases and you understand what phase you're in, if you're in the third phase, take risk off. Just don't try to time it. Just try to take risk off if you can. But you might remember in my previous videos that I referred to a Gallup poll, and I actually still have it up right here, so I'll show it to you. Gold in 2011 was, according to Gallup's respondents, the best long-term investment. Now, it fluctuated and went down. 2012, it was still the number one investment. 2013, it became the second favorite behind real estate. Then in 2014, it tied with stocks. And then ever since then, it's been on a downward trajectory. 2020, we're at 16%, I believe, of respondents have said that gold is the best long-term investment, which would, in 2020, put it just behind savings accounts and CDs. So the funny thing is that obviously we're not in the third phase, because if we're in the third phase of this gold bull market, then we will see everybody rushing into it. And as far as sentiment is concerned, if we're going to use Gallup as a litmus test, not too many people are even looking at gold right now. Now you have to remember, depending on where you think the bull market started, for me, I'm using Jim Rickards' number of 2016 and giving it a, rough 10-year trajectory. So if it started in 2016, that means we're in year 4 of this bull market. So does that mean we're in the first phase still? Does that mean we've entered into the second phase? So let's take a look actually at some charts here. So this is straight from SD Bullion, and they're showing bull markets, the bull markets for gold, roughly from 1970 to 1980. Then they're showing from 2000 to up until 2019. But we're going to look at it as as the first two bull markets, and then we can kind of take a look at what's going on from 2016 onward there. But if you take a look at the yellow line, it's showing the gold price from 1970 to 1980. The percentage gains, I should say. And in 1971, this is where I believe the bull market really started, and then it hit 1980. In 1971, if 4 years after that fact, so let's take a look at this, pretend this is 2016, this is 2017, this is 2018, this is 2019, and then 2020 is 1975, then you could venture to say, okay, this is roughly around the same time where we are right now, 4 years after the beginning. And take a look at where things were in 1975. Things grew steadily, and started to hit like a little bit of a small peak, and then things slowly started to actually price downward in percentage performance. Then it hits a trough in 1977. So there's about 2 years of a slight decrease. And if you remember, there was actually a recession that I believe it might have ended in 1975, and then so the gold price kind of went down, and then towards once it hit this trough, this inflection point, then it was just kind of off to the races here, especially towards the end. Take a look at the bottom. In the orange, you have the 2000s. Now, for me, I'd say the bull market began in 1999, ended in 2011. So let's just call this 2000 number, let's just call it a 2016, for example. So 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. So roughly we'll be in 2004 percentage-wise performance in 2020. So obviously not too much is going on here. You probably see more of the gains happening roughly around this period of time, 2005 to 2008. This might be the what you would call the second phase, most likely. And then it pulls back a little bit, just like how there's a pullback here after that minor increase. And then it just goes up to the moon, similar to what we see here in the 70s. So what we might expect to see is a potential pull down in price and then a increase later on. Now, we've all who have been following gold know that there's going to be a little bit of a deflation happening due to what's been going on with the issue. So I'm wondering if that will actually be our inflection point of then starting to see some downward trajectory, and then eventually hitting hitting a third bull market. But this here is a 2-year period of just downward trajectory. In 2008, it was about 1 year of downward trajectory, and then it went up. So we'll see what happens. But all that to say, as far as the three phases of the bull market cycle, for us here, beginning in 2016, this goes up to 2019, not too much has really, changed performance-wise. But obviously the price has changed a bit. It went from 1080 and now we're at, 1720, So things have gone up. So you just need to be a little bit more patient. I think we're still in the beginning or towards the end of the first phase, honestly. The stealth phase, and then after this we might see some more growth. So maybe it's a little bit too it might be too much of an early call to say, okay, we are in that period of hitting that high point, and then we're going to see some cutback there. We may see a little bit of a cutback just due to the general deflation, and then once we get back up there again towards the latter part of the second phase of the bull market, then we might see the real drop before the beginning of the third bull market or third phase of the bull market. But let me know what you guys think as far as what you see from this chart, what Mike Maloney has chopped up as far as the three phases of the bull markets. Let me know in the comment section below. Again, thank you for watching. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're new. And thanks again. It's Black Bullion.